So here I stand, ready to toast my daughter's marriage to her husband, Reuben. A toast is to celebrate a joyous moment, and this moment is one to celebrate. Every father wishes that their little baby girl grows to be successful and happy. And although this year has had some real setbacks for just about everyone, today is a jump forward for both Brittany and Reuben. I cannot think of my daughter being with anyone more loving, responsible than Reuben has been to Brittany in the last few years. And Brittany has been there for Reuben and his three daughters every day during the entire time. With all the setbacks that this pandemic has caused, they have been there for each other, planning their lives and jointly making the best decisions as we bear through this most difficult time. Brittany came into my life 28 years ago when by destiny I walked out of a house in Garfield, New Jersey, where I had just interviewed someone. Linda had been driving by, and her daughter Anne-Marie caught sight of me. I walked out of the house and back into Linda's life, who I had known as a friend a couple of years earlier. Brittany was only 7 months old, sitting in her infant car seat, and had looked up at me, likely wondering, why does this person have grass growing out of his face? Oh well, she likely thought, my uncle is a landscaper, he'll take care of it. The relationship between me and Linda grew over the next couple of years, and my relationship with Brittany grew right along. Linda and I ultimately married in 1995, but my bonding with Brittany began in the final days of 1991. When Brittany was a young child, it was clear that she was shy around people. When she was just 3 years old, she became frightened around any Santa Claus entertaining children in public places. She enjoyed the Sherry Lewis show on television and her puppet, Lamb Chop. But on her 3rd birthday, when we hired a life-size Lamb Chop character to perform at her birthday party, Brittany ran wildly into the house from the backyard. So after we moved to Cleveland in 1994, I began reading bedtime stories to Brittany. After running low on interesting books, she asked me to make up stories. I did, and a new character was born, Britless. 7 stories resulted from Britless character. Most of the stories were based upon her experiences as she grew, and of course was embellished with the adventures of her alter ego. Britless was the creation of Brittany and her then friend, Lacey. The last story was written of her experiences when she entered Fairleigh Dickinson's study abroad program in Roxton, England. There is still one story not written, and that is of this woman, and it is currently in the works. It was Brittany's college experiences that got her to shed some of her shy nature. When she first moved to FDU campus, 50 miles from home, Brittany became nearly traumatized being away from home. It took her 2 months for her to become accustomed to college life, and it could have been even worse had it not been for Erica. Brittany's maid of honor. Erica also attended FDU, and they were roommates on campus. I cannot imagine that Brittany would have remained enrolled on campus without Erica being there for her. Thank you, Erica. Then came a few decisions that surprised me and Linda. She was going to join a sorority. Oh no, was the first thoughts out of my head. I remember my college days and some of the wild fraternity experiences, but she assured me that this would be a good thing and her grades would not suffer. Yeah, right. She surprised me. She rose to a high-ranking member of her local sorority chapter, and her grades improved year after year. Then in her sophomore year, she announced to Linda and me that she wanted to participate in FDU's study abroad program. She would attend FDU's campus at Rockton College, not far from London, England, for 4 months. Now let me think about this. She cried for 2 months when she went to FDU just 50 miles away from home. Now she's thinking that she could spend 4 months more than 3,000 miles away. Needless to say, this surprised me and Linda, and we had questions about it. But she experienced more in those 4 months than Linda and I did in our 50 years. She graduated from FDU, reaching the academic honors of summa cum laude. So proud. Then came Harris. Well, she ultimately fit in well with the job and became an assistant manager. Harris was a good fit, but varying shifts often got her leaving late at night into a dark parking lot, often by herself. Needless to say, this did not go over well at Daddy. I often stayed up to the early morning hours of the night until I got a call from her saying that she was home. Then it came along this guy. Some guy who would walk her to the car at night. Then this guy who worked in a different department at Harris often would show up at the beverage department where Brittany worked. And oh well, showed interest in her. Well, Brittany often let Linda and I know about her daily activities, and this guy's name kept coming up more and more frequently. Brittany had some nervous moments about this guy in the beginning, and if she had nervous moments, so did Daddy. Well, needless to say, Linda and I wanted to know more about this guy. Well, let's just skip ahead a number of months from this period of time, and this guy turns out to be Reuben. Needless to say, Daddy and Mommy questioned Brittany about the relationship. But then again, as with a number of events in Brittany's life, I learned that her sense of judgment is good. I questioned her joining a sorority, and I was wrong. I questioned her decision to go to England, and I was wrong. I questioned her relationship with this guy, and I was wrong. Brittany, Reuben, Gabby, and Hazel, and Scarlett are already a family. This ceremony today memorializes and celebrates their love and family bond that has existed for the last few years. And the strength of that bond has been tested over the last 7 months with all the obstacles that this pandemic has placed in the way of our daily living. It is this kind of love and dedication that makes a family successful, and at this time, I would like all present to stand.
Oh.
And raise your glasses as we toast Brittany and Reuben in their marriage today, and for their continued love, dedication, and successful lives for all the days of their lives.
Cheers.
Now I'm sure that all of you here think you can now sit down and expect your lunch. No, not yet. Thanks. Thank you. Earlier in the speech, I mentioned the Brittany stories I read to Brittany at bedside. The first story was Brittany tackles the Easter Bunny. She was about 6 years old when I wrote that first story. Well, it's been 23 years since I wrote it. As mentioned, I have written 7 Brittany stories, but the first one, Bridless Tackles the Easter Bunny, is no longer a rough, typewritten draft written 23 years ago. Brittany, your alter ego has been published.
Oh my gosh.
For a long, long time together. present.
We made a whole book.
75, Britt.
What?
75.